Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and I want to talk about the top Kang comics that you could go after in the real world and also on Veve in 2023. This is going to be a really fun vid, and I'm going to show you some really cool Kang comics in the real world of comic book collecting for my Veve viewers. And then I'm going to show you two that are in the Veve app itself. One of them, the first appearance of Kang is actually in Veve, and the second one, which is the first appearance of a Kang variant that you may not know of, that's actually in Veve right now that you may have forgotten about, and I'll show you that comic in the real world too. And then a bunch of other really great physical comics, because I know that a lot of Veve people are just getting into physical comic book collecting. So leading up to the movie that's coming out this upcoming weekend, if this video is coming out on February the 12th, so Quantum Mania, the Ant-Man movie, is coming out on the 17th, and Kang, his whole presence in the MCU is going to explode big time. And so, you want to maybe get ahead if you're into comic book collecting. You go onto eBay. I'll show you some prices. I'll show you some of these key comics that you could pick up. And I'm not going to show you the 9.8 thousands and thousands of dollar versions of them. I'm going to show you the raw copies. So if you're new to comic book collecting, you can get some of these. I'll show you some of the prices you can get. It's going to be lots of fun. And you can start building your Kang collection. So if you do like this video, make sure you hit like. And also make sure, please, to comment down below and let me know if you're going after some of these comics on eBay, or if you have a comic collection growing, or the ones that the two that I'm going to show you in Veve. It's all good for sure. And if you're new to the channel, if you're not here, we do talk about real world comics all the time, and the ones that are on Veve, the digital NFT comics that are fully licensed by Marvel. We also talk about the DC comics over on the DC platform, because there's some great ones there too. But this video is all about the Veve ones and Marvel. So let's get into this. The top ones, the key comic collectors. Now, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can actually get into all these. Now, I'll talk about the Veve one first that we all know about. Avengers VIII. Now, this comic I've talked about a lot of times on the channel. You can pick it up in Veve right now, about 128 or so bucks for the common, and you can see the different variants there. The secret rare goes for over 3,000. So this is not a cheap comic on the Veve app, but you can actually go into the real world on eBay, and you can pick up a real world copy of this, a real beater, like a low graded copy for around $600 to $500 to $600. And these prices are in US and Canadian dollars. You can pick up a real world copy of this to add to your physical collection. That would be amazing if you owned one. It doesn't have to be super graded. The 9.8s go for thousands and thousands of dollars. But you can just get a raw copy, or you can get it on Veve, right? So this is the one, and this one's been going up on Veve. It was in my trending video before as we get closer to his movie. Now, here is the next comic on Veve that has a Kang first appearance. Before we get into the real world comics, I'm going to show you, this is Young Avengers #1. Now, this comic, people maybe don't understand or don't realize, but this comic right here, this is a Kang variant called Iron Lad that's in this comic. This is his first appearance. Okay, and you can see right here, this is a picture from the comic, a panel in there. I'm from the 13th century. They call me Kang. The 30th century, sorry, they call me Kang. And that is Iron Lad, and he's right there on the cover. You can see him. And so this comic in the real world is actually picking up good value too. It's about 125 or so. You can pick up a raw copy, and you can see the prices here on Veve. This one is definitely stackable. I know a lot of people have, so you might want to look into that. Now we get into, this is one to have in the real world too. So make sure you go over on eBay and check it out for sure, right? Now, this is another one right here. This is a great comic to own. I own this one in the physical space, in the physical world. Don't have this one on Veve, but maybe one day we will, because this is Avengers XI. This comic has the second ever appearance of Kang in it. So it's a nice key comic if you're doing some Kang comics in the real world and have a nice collection. You usually go after that second appearance. And this is also the first appearance of Spider-Man actually as an Avenger, or against the Avengers. The first time he's actually in an Avengers comic. So he does that. This one's a great fun comic from 1963. You can pick up a raw copy, a real a low graded copy for around 200 bucks. And they're beautiful to have in your collection. You could read it. If you go for the graded ones, they're going to be super high. But this is his second appearance of Kang. Very important to comic collectors to get those second appearances, right? Now, here is another first appearance of a Kang variant in the real world that we also don't have on Veve yet. This is Immortus. You can see him over there. He's the older version of Kang, okay? So this is Avengers X. the issue right before Avengers 11. You can see this is all around that same period of time. You can pick up this copy in the real world too for about 150 bucks or so on eBay, just a lower grade. Beautiful comic, a fantastic one. Captain America leaves the Avengers in. It's a really interesting comic right here. I owned this one in the physical space as well. It's one of my favorites. And you actually probably saw Immortus in the Loki TV series. That guy, you know, the Kang version that was at the end of that show. That's like Immortus, you know, but we haven't officially seen him as like his named one. But this is another version of Kang right there. Now, here is another version of Kang that actually predates the actual Kang appearance in the Avengers VIII comic. This is Ramitat. This is Kang when he goes back in time, okay, and he goes back and takes over ancient Egypt and all that kind of stuff. It's super cool. It's in a Fantastic Four comic, number 19, okay, so this is very famous too. And this character, this Ramitat, is Kang, and then he crosses paths with himself numerous times in all the comic history. It's a really key comic too, but you can pick up, like I said, a raw copy of this, just a lower grade physical copy in the real world for around 300 bucks or so. You know, around that range, you might be able to find it cheaper at a comic book, like at a comic show. But I'm just talking eBay right here, just for simplicity, right? If you're just online. But this is a really awesome one too. Great story. The Fantastic Four go back and stop him. He brings future tech back to ancient Egypt. It's really interesting, right? It's a very cool story in the timeline. We'll see if we get this variant in the movies too, right? Now, here is another beautiful comic. And this one is actually Avengers 23 from 1965. This comic is really key. It's got a really beautiful Kang cover to it, one of the more famous Kang covers of all time. It's got the first appearance of Ravonna. That's that woman that was in the Loki show that he falls in love with and all this kind of stuff in the comics. This is a key comic for that, but really most importantly, it's this beautiful cover that people love so much. I have this one in my collection as well. You can go on eBay, pick this up for about 100 bucks or so, like a really raw copy. As it gets better condition, the price goes up, but it's definitely attainable. Definitely one you want to have in your collection if you are a comic book collector. And I know that VV people are getting more into comics, physical comics every single day. That's the beautiful thing about this app. It's taking people who are collecting digital comics and, you know, helping them get into the physical space, which is where I came from, the physical space. So I love this one as well. Now, here is another key comic right here. This is another first appearance of a Kang variant called the Scarlet Centurion. So that he's in this one right here. This is where actually the first Avengers team battles the original, the new Avengers team battles the original Avengers team from two different like multiverses there, and Kang is in the middle. And it's a really great comic, and it's really not Kang, it's the Scarlet Centurion, but it's actually Kang himself. You can see he has multiple variations of himself, and this is the first appearance of this one. Now, this issue here, you know, it's from 1967. You can pick it up for around 75 bucks for a really low-level copy. Just a nice raw copy to add to your collection, but it is a very cool key comic with old Avengers and new Avengers battling it out. And there is a What If comic too, actually, that I don't have in this video, but it kind of like connects to it as well. What if, right? It actually follows the storyline. It comes like about 10 years later. And I can show you that comic in another video as well. But anyway, this one's great to have another Kang variant appearance, first appearance, right? So this comic is a newer comic now. This is Avengers II from 2017. The reason I love this one is it's an Alex Ross art cover. And you know Alex Ross from a lot of VV comics for sure. You know, he's done a lot of work on VV. And here you just see all the variants of Kang in there. It's a really beautiful, and it's about 20 bucks or so, but it's a nice key comic you can pick up, you know, in the real world just to have in your collection with all. I mean, it's great. I mean, you can see down there, look, there's Ramitat down there. There's Iron Lad right there, Scarlet Centurion, you know, Immortus and Kang himself. You can see all these variants are right on the cover. And it's a beautiful issue right there for sure. Now, here is another 3-part series kind of that you can pick up from Avengers in the 1980s. This is also nice and cheap, but this is the first appearance of the Council of Kangs, which is a whole bunch of different Kangs all together. And this might tie into the MCU. So if you pick up these 3 issues, 267, 268, 269 from 1986, you can see that you have all this storyline of Kang right there, the beautiful covers, and totally attainable as well. You can see Kang's battling Immortus right there. That's in number 269. That's Immortus' actual origin story, which is really cool. But you can see, you can pick up all of them for about 80 bucks, 90 bucks, maybe 100 if you get like all of them. If you just add them together, at least, especially if you find one seller on eBay, you can sometimes buy them as a group. Really great story, beautiful covers as well, for sure. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite Kang covers in the comic space. This is number 129. This is a beautiful cover, famous for sure. And the Vision's in there. He's like super upset with Kang, and it's like a really cool story too, from 1974. You know, this one goes for a little higher as a raw copy, 60 bucks or so, maybe 75 if you're looking at the like one that's in really rough shape. If you go up a bit higher, over 100 bucks for sure, but a beautiful cover and really famous, this one. A lot of people get this graded. The high-end grades of this one go for a lot of money just because of the art is so amazing, right? Now, this is the last one I want to leave you with. This is a newer comic right here that hopefully we get in VV. I want all of these comics in VV, by the way, but this is Kang the Conqueror #1. This is actually his first solo series. Out of all the years that Kang's existed, this is the first comic book run of him alone, and it's from 2021. It's pretty new, and there's a lot of variant covers you can go after and check out. But you can pick this one up of a 9.8. This one I'm going to tell you what the graded one's worth for about 125 at a 9.8 right now on eBay. So if you really want to grab his first ever solo series, that's really cool. It took all the way to 2021 to come out, but the movies are coming out. So this is a nice key one as well, right? So anyway, I hope you liked the video. These are all the great covers right here. And if you go to the VV app, if you haven't been on VV before, make sure you download it from the App Store. Get in these Marvel comics. These are fully licensed, you know, digital NFTs of Marvel comics, fully readable, buy, sell, and trade on their market. Not trade yet, but hopefully soon. But, you know, this is the one to go after if you're looking for, you know, ones in VV right now. And of course, if you want to get after this one right here, which a lot of people have ignored, this is the Young Avengers #1 in both the physical world and in VV. There's a Kang first appearance there as well. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys are going to go see the movie. I'll talk to you in another video as well. Happy Kang collecting. I'll see you again.